Hi there. Welcome to the Best of Preps Cochise County Football Roundup Show. I'm Matt Hickman, joined by Herald Review sports editor Bruce Wetton. We're talking about the granddaddy of them all in Cochise County rivalry games. We're talking about Bisbee Douglas 154th meeting, first meeting 1906. They're getting at it again Friday night at Warren Ballpark in Bisbee. Bruce, go from there.
Second oldest rivalry in the nation. I mean, I've seen every one of these games since I've been in Douglas since 1986. They're always very entertaining. And even though it's a 4A versus 2A school, throw out the records.
Yeah.
Douglas got blown out last week. Bisbee won handily. But you talk to the Bisbee players and coaches, they are not underestimating Douglas. They are not taking Douglas for lightly. Douglas has won the last 3 years. And the funny thing is about it, in 2021, they won by 3 points. In 2022, they won by 2 points. And in 2021, they won 39-38. So you talking to the Bisbee players yesterday at practice, and they're saying, this is our year to put that over on the Bisbee side now. And you've got several players on that Bisbee team that have never beaten Douglas in their 3 years of high school. They're seniors this year: Sebastian Lopez, Bryson Meyer, Michael Coronado. And these three players are determined to bring that pick back to Bisbee. On the opposite side, Douglas has 3. Why not go for 4? The last time Bisbee won the pick was in 2019. So we're missing 2020, Matt, but we're missing 2020 because it was a COVID year and there was no game.
Right. So obviously Bisbee's very hungry. And last year they felt, I don't think it's a feel that they were robbed. They didn't like some calls. They lost by 1 point in a game they felt they had won. How much do the feelings from that carry over?
Oh, it's a motivating factor. Players were still talking about it yesterday. They got screwed in Douglas.
Yeah.
And, the fact is they're going to Bisbee Field. Douglas is a bigger stadium. It's more open, whereas Bisbee's kind of like the Wrigley Field. It's confined, it's compact, and you got the fans right there on the field, literally.
Yeah.
And they're expecting between 3,000 and 5,000 people.
3,000 and 5,000 people. That
packed
is,
in Warren.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously it's a big field, but the part that's used for baseball or for football is just the outfield, essentially going across. Now, there is an interesting side part about the baseball here is that they are in the midst of construction of trying to fix the infield, which has become unplayable. So I know there was some talk about possibly having to move the bleachers, but you were down there. What are you seeing?
They had talked about it 2 weeks ago when I was there. So when I was there yesterday, I saw the bleachers actually set up on the outskirts of the infield. And when I talked to the administration Tuesday night, they said, well, we decided to put the bleachers there because we hadn't put the clay down on the infield. And once that clay goes down, it needs a chance to adhere to the soil and pack it in. And the people need to stay off of it, basically. Whereas now, they still want them to be careful with the infield, but they don't have to take the precautions that they would had that clay been down. So the bleachers are actually on the Douglas side of the field, on the visitor side. And they know that those bleachers are going to be full, and they'll probably stick Douglas fans in the corner of the Bisbee side of the bleachers over there. And then you got all kinds of intense media coverage coming down too. We're hearing that all kinds of news outlets are going to be down covering this game, and so it's a rivalry game, and it's a very interesting rivalry game. And we've got fathers that have played in this game whose sons are now playing in this game. Douglas head coach Hunter Long, he played, and his dad played, and his brother played, and then we have a newbie in Douglas, Guy Hudson. He quarterbacked the Bulldogs, and now his son, Matt, is playing his first game. And on Bisbee's side, Michael Coronado, Bobby Coronado, Sebastian Lopez, Carlos Lopez, not the coach, the other Carlos Lopez, the dad, they all played in this game. And so there's a lot of family history in this game. And I asked the players, I said, so what's this week like? And they said, we hear from the family. You got to beat Douglas. You got to beat Douglas. It's kind of like U of A and ASU. If you lose every game, that's fine. Just you got to beat your rivals.
The one they're going to remember, and they obviously remember last year. So let's get back to the matchup here. Like, who do we actually like in this game? I mean, you could probably read too much into the last week's scores between the opponents that Douglas and Bisbee played. Bisbee obviously played a lot better. Obviously played a lesser team. But boy, it seems like a lot of things would favor Bisbee if you were trying to pick one.
Sebastian Lopez is tough. Bryson Meyer's tough. Ivan Higuera did not have a great game last week. Is he going to bounce back? Jason Hurtado, what kind of performance is he going to have? People are asking me, who am I picking to win? Folks, I'm picking a 38-38 tie. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna.
yeah.
I was
Bruce
born
is
tonight, but
there.
not last night.
Yeah. Bruce is there. He lives in Douglas. He's covered Douglas for years, but he covers Bisbee just the
And
same.
I'm
They're all in our coverage circle, so he's got to be very, very. What's the word? They're diplomatic there,
well.
as it
I've
were.
become fans with the Bisbee
Oh,
players. I
sure,
mean,
sure.
they're like family to me. They've treated me really well. They've been very hospitable, and I've become very fond of them. And so these are my two favorite teams going head to head. It's unfortunate somebody's going to lose, but we're going to be there providing the best coverage we can. But Matt, I want to share something here real fast. And going over the history of this game is so funny because my old friend Barry Sullenberger put together some notes. Did you know the very first game was played in 1906 was won by Bisbee 7-0?
I did know that.
And then the second game, Douglas won 18-0, and thus the rivalry began.
Yeah.
And so in 1906, they played each other twice. In 1907, they played each other 3 times, and Douglas won all 3 of those games. The last time Bisbee beat Douglas was 2019 by a score of 36-21.
Mm.
And that was at Bisbee.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you go to Warren Ballpark, anything can happen. And I'll tell you this, when you got the bugs flying down your throat, when you got the bugs flying in your ear, flying down your shirt, bring your bug spray.
Buggier than Douglas.
It's going to be the natural grass.
Well, the natural grass is going to bring more bugs. Yeah. I mean, we got to think about which team is more prepared for bugs. Probably Bisbee.
They practice on the field. They know
Plus, they're at a little higher elevation there. Up and it's a little wetter. They probably have a few more bugs they're used to.
Well, the thing is, they know the ins and outs of the field. They know the dynamics of the field.
It's a lumpy field. I mean, it's a lumpy field.
It's a lumpy field.
It's every bit of 114 years old.
Well, and then the fact is, too, that I know the Douglas coaches walked on the field a few weeks ago just trying to determine, is the field playable for this game? And it was deemed playable. And I think Douglas was doing anything it can to get the game back in Douglas this year. But nope, I mean, we're headed to Warren.
Maybe they could play it at Hampton Field or something if they wanted to.
But I'm going to be interested to see how Sebastian and Ivan, because, again, these were 2 of our 4,000-yard rushers, and they were both 1,000-yard rushers, 1,000-yard passers, and they're going to go head-to-head this Friday night. In my opinion, it's a pick'em game.
Really, I think Bisbee's easily a touchdown favorite. I'm setting the line at 8.5. I'm not asking you to go pick the over or under there, but I don't have to be there. I'll be at the Buena Ironwood Ridge game. So I'll be safely apart from all the mayhem. I'll miss all the fun.
Well, we'll be texting. I'll be providing updates.
Yeah,
but
the Buena game. I think the Buena game is going to be really exciting too. But I think Bisbee's got it there. They got Lopez. They got Meyer. They got some people that could really run and catch, and they always got a few big kids in Bisbee.
Of all the football games I ever cover every year, this is my favorite.
Yeah,
because of the significance. I mean, I've gotten to know the history of these teams over the years and the significance, of the Bulldog, the significance of the pick. Button Salmon played in this game for Bisbee. And, some legendary players. And so this is my favorite time of year. And it doesn't bother me going to Bisbee because it just makes it for the dynamics of the historic game. Why not go to their field and where it's, you have the close confines where the fans are, you run out of bounds, chances are you're going to hit a fan.
Yeah. It's an interesting matchup. I'm curious about COVID, too, because you got the whole list here of we had researched this before. I'm curious about the 1918 flu. It was canceled in 1918 for the flu. So the game before that, Bisbee won 33-0. Ooh, this is an interesting stat. 1917, Bisbee 33-0. 1918, it's canceled because of the flu. And then Bisbee wins that one 33-14 in 1919.
Well, Bisbee won the year before in 2019, and then we had COVID, and then Douglas has won 3 straight since COVID.
So I'm gonna that makes me like Bisbee, I think, even more. Anyway, I think all the talking is just about over on this rivalry. That's been a whole crazy rivalry week. They've got powder puff. They've got parades.
You got a big parade in Bisbee tomorrow night. You got a pep rally in Douglas tomorrow night. We invite you to go take part. It's a very festive. These two teams support each other and they cheer for each other whenever they're not playing each other. When they're on game day or game week, don't talk to me and I won't talk to you, and we'll talk to each other on Monday.
All right, so 154th meeting, nothing really left to say. It's been said through history. So As far as who we like, I like Bisbee by more than a touchdown, going 8.5. Bruce predicts a tie. Bruce is just going to believe in the tie all the way. Uh, so there you have it. Good chance, 5,000 people out there. Good chance you're going to be out at the Bisbee Douglas game if you're watching this. So keep reading the Herald Review, myheraldreview.com. Get it delivered at home, and check us out on YouTube and at our website. Signing off. I'm Matt. He's Bruce. Have a lovely day.